Hola, I once again welcome you to SOLSOFT.inc channel. My name is Sol. Good evening to you once again. We intend to bring to you, we're continuing with my Illustrator episodes, and this is episode 3. We are continuing with designing and elaborating more about Adobe Illustrator CC. For most of our tutorials, we've been dealing with designing, and we appreciate the first two shape tools, and we've managed to cover the selection tool and the pen tool. And this time we're going to cover the shape builder tool. This is the best and one of the most advanced tool that is used in Adobe Illustrator CC. For most of the designers, graphically, we've been seeing that there has been an implementation, and we tend to use the shape builder tool quite more, because we cannot do most of the graphics work without this tool. We use it to compile and combine most of the shapes to build up more of a clear artwork. We are going to try to elaborate how it is used, and for all the beginners, we're trying to show the basics and the fundamentals of how to use the shape builder tool. We shall use some of the shapes. I'm going to use let me use the ellipse for the start. To draw a perfect circle, select from the shape palette, select the circle, but long press shift as you're dragging, and then drop to have it selected. We shall use this circle. For the start, we shall expand it. You click Shift plus Alt, and then drag in one of the corners in the bounding box. Then we shall have it selected. Okay, we shall try to use only outline. Okay, for now let's use let's get the fill color to none, and then we shall only be using outline for the start. It might disturb us in selecting it because we have to be a bit exact. Alright, we are going to select, press A for the direct selection tool, and then we shall click in one of the points at the bottom. Press Alt. We shall see a plus sign. Press on it, drag it inside to be exact. Let me undo, and then press Ctrl plus R to bring visibility of the ruler in place. Drag it to the point. We want to be precise with measurements. We don't want to lose out with accuracy. Press on any of the points in the circle. We are going to drag this to the extreme point up here at the ruler. We shall press Alt, then press on one of the corners of the circle. Try to pull the mark downwards. We shall leave it to that point, this side there. Then we shall again bring one of the rulers to this point, so that we can also have another point intact in selection. We have it marked and dropped to that exact point. Then let's press Alt, then press one of the points, then again drag it to the ruler center. Then we shall have something like that. Alright, we shall do the same to the top point, but for now let me first drag the shape to reduce more of the its size. Try to distort it a bit. Okay, let me have it selected a bit and then move it to this point. Alright, there. Okay, We shall do the same to the top, right? Okay, have this selected, point 1. Let's drag a ruler to this point like that. Press at one to the top point. We shall see the blue point, the blue mark. Press Alt. First press point, then let's try to drag it toward the ruler mark. Then press Alt, then try to drag upwards to the point like that. Press another point to the left, to the right, then press Alt and then drag it to the upper point. Here we'll be a bit exact, but we agreed that we would use a ruler to be a bit precise. Let me bring, we have this point. We try to reduce the sharpness of the edges because this is something real. We want to bring reality in this shape. Also we want to reduce something like that. Alright, I'm going to get this point, drag it a bit to the center, get this as well, drag it a bit toward the center, and we have something like that. It has not yet come out well. Alright, we shall try to mimic something like an apple. I don't know whether, yeah, something like that. It might not exactly look similar. Let me select this point as well. Try to get it a bit. Also this, because I'm trying to draw fruits. Yes, we're trying to draw an apple. This is something that artistically it is we're trying to draw something, come up with something like that. Alright, so we shall select all the rulers. We can get this shape, select, then we move it aside. For the ease, let's first put the color so that we can move it very fast, because when without a color, with a fill color, it becomes a bit hard to move. You have to be selective, mostly at the edges, so that you can move it. But with the fill color active, given it any color, we can move it with ease to any point. Alright, having something like this, we're trying to drop an apple. Something that we can be elaborative with, trying to describe the use of the shape builder tool. We haven't yet used it, but it's what we're going to have in the next move. We have let's get another shape again. Let's use an ellipse. We shall draw as you press long press the shift key to have something like that, a shape. Alright, press the selection tool. Right, press let us get the fill color off for this shape. Have it selected, press Alt, drag and drop. We shall have something like that. Right, the fill color also will get off. Now this is the point. We get this. We get these shapes intact. You can see that we have two shapes, the circles, two circular objects having similar dimensions. We can as well try to bisect this apple into two. Let's get another line segment. We can try to show that this is an apple. Draw a line toward the center like that, diagonally, and we shall try to get these two shapes, move them closer. We want to get a leaf of this apple. Right, you can see that the shape needs to be shifted a bit and then tilted. We need to rotate it to an angle a bit and then move it to the center like that. We need to again rotate it given degree like that and then select it. We can as well as moving it like that. Okay, this to the top, and then we can have it selected as well, something like that. Now this will have them selected at once. We can move them to the point like that there. We can as well have this ruler selected. Let's delete it, we no longer need it. Have these two shapes selected. We can reduce their sizes, press Shift plus Alt, then drag in one of the bounding boxes to have something like that. We are trying to reduce this, the size of these shapes. Now you can see that we have two shapes, but we need to remain with a leaf. Those who know an apple, if you know that we have a leaf at the top of the apple, we can have this shape selected, then right click and then group them. We have grouped the two shapes, the two circles, as we see that we haven't yet tackled the apple, but now we want to deal with the shapes first. We can see that they are grouped. We can move them at any point. Now we need to eliminate these other two shapes, these other 2 points, the outer points, the outer parts. Now I'm going to press Shift plus M, the shortcut for Shape Builder tool. As you can see in the left side of the palette, it is selected. When I hover the mouse point, I can see that it shows Shape Builder tool. You can see that the shortkeys to have it in selection, have it active, you can press Shift plus M on your keyboard. Then we can see that these two shapes are marked. The moment I move the mouse toward any of these shapes in selection, you can see that they are highlighted in smaller squares. Let me try to zoom out and we see. The moment I try to hover around the mouse, pressing Shift M, you can see that any point I move the mouse toward, it has now grouped it, it has now selected it into three sections. The first section up, the one in the middle, and the one at the extreme end. Now when you want to delete these, because now when we want to group, if I want to group them, I'll just long press the left mouse button key toward that center. As you can see, it is marked active. The moment I long press in one of the segments, it will have it marked active. Being marked active, the moment I drag toward any other segment in selection, it will show that all these segments are selected. The moment I release, it will show that I've now grouped these two shapes. I've now grouped them together. The moment I also want to drag and drop the last segment, I'll also have to have it in selection. A long press, it will be marked active. If we can see that the perimeters of the circle in selection, it is now marked active. Then if I drag toward the other segment, it will have it selected as well. So I'll be having a similar shape now. If I try to color, give it a color, a fill color, let me say red, something like this. Let me first have it selected. I'll give it something like that. We can see that we had three segments. First of all, we had two circles. We grouped them to form we grouped them. Then we formed three segments when we pressed Shift plus M to access the Shape Builder tool. Now you'll have something like that if you have it painted. Giving it a fill color, it will be showing that it's now one shape. Have it selected, go to fill, select any color. You can see that we can have something like that. Now let us undo the moves. Still remember, we want to remain with only the middle part. Now what we do, you can just press Alt. When you press, we can see a plus sign at the top at the mouse pointer. It has a mark that indicates a selection and active Shape Builder tool. But the moment I press Alt, it now shows a minus. If I can move the mouse outside, you can see that the pointer has a negative sign. The moment I press Alt, it changes to a negative sign, as you can see. Now I move it toward the object, the segment that I want to have in selection, then press Alt, then we shall see that it now has a negative sign. It marks it negative. Then if I press anywhere with the mouse button left, anywhere in the quadrant, not outside but inside the quadrant that I want to have deselected or have deleted, I just press left, I just left click. Now it shows that I'm left with only now 2 shapes. The moment I drag while long pressing the left mouse button, I'll have another similar shape, that is a circle, the one we began with, as you could see. So if I undo, I'll now be having two shapes. Alright, now I'll do the same, press Alt, negative, it should show as a negative sign, so we remain with something like that. This is what we're talking about. The Shape Builder tool is a powerful tool that is used in most of artwork designs, in most of Adobe suite, and we get to embrace it more and more. So I'll have something like this. Having it selected, I'll select this shape. It's now an object that has been grouped and then grouped again with the Shape Builder tool. We've built it since from the outline of 2 circles, as we saw in previous shapes built. Then we managed to group and then build it into such a shape. So we tend to remain with such a shape. If I want to recolor, then I'll select it, get the outer part, the fill outline, the stroke, and I'll have it selected to none. Then I'll get it, press the dot key to access dot or the full stop on the keyboard. It's a shortcut to access gradient. Then I'll have to access a gradient. Then I'll select a radial gradient to access such a gradient form. Then I'll select onto the gradient. I'll double click, then select the color to the left for the outer part. Then I'll select, let me try to select something like that, green, which is a bit light. Okay, I select it. We can as well get the color. We select the color. We select the color and then gradient. Let us select the color up here. Let us remove the color guide and then select the gradient. I'm going to drop the colors. To select this color, I double click, then I select from the color guide. Let us access color here. The color selected here are this, but now I'll select, let me say green, something like that. Should we access that? Or that? Okay. Now I'm going to open my gradient. I'll select this point. I drag and drop. I'm going to drag from the top the colors I've selected and then drop it to the swatch guide. I'll also select black. This has to be a thicker color, so that we can get a distinction from these colors, something like that. This has to be a bit dark, light colored. Let me say, should we use this? We are not trying to waste much of the time, but we're trying to get something that is a bit distinctive. Okay, something like that. We're selecting radial. We can also increase on the feather and whatsoever. We are not so much into gradient. This is not the topic we wanted. We wanted just to elaborate more of how to use the Shape Builder tool. Alright, so I'm going to get this shape selected. So have it selected. We can again go to gradient. Have this color selected. We can bring the eyedropper tool. We can have the eyedropper tool selected. We can just repaint it like that. Alright, so we've managed to create something like that. For the start, get it selected, outline. So now we can group these two, get them right. Just drag from anywhere in the artwork, in the space provided. Just drag toward all the center, toward all the points in the objects. Have them selected, right click and then group. When you group, you can be in position to move this shape anywhere. Alright, have it selected, we can press Alt and then drag and drop. We can have another shape from that. Just resize it and have it moved into another place in the artwork. Give it any other color like that. We can again have another shape, have it selected and then drag, selecting the corners of the bounding boxes, reduce the size and then have it selected like that. Get it, select the gradient, give it any colors of your choice. Let's say blue or black or something like that. Let us use the ready-made gradients for us. Open gradient, select it, give it any colors of your choice. This will be radio, something like that. Also this one we could select radio and be a bit distinctive, giving it something like that. Let us leave it there. Okay, well, this is the first shape we have all of them selected. Let's select this and have it another color. Let's say red. Red, have red in selection. Open gradient, have this selected. Open the red, drop it anywhere in the point, drag it to the extreme point. Again, select radio like that. So we can have something like that. Have them in selection, select and do whatever you want. Have this in selection, again select radio. We can have something like that. So this is the point. Let's select them all, right click and then group. We can now resize them in the bounding, in any of the corners of the bounding box. We have something like that. Another shape that we could use, let's use another shape to again elaborate more about the shape builder tool. Let's get to the shape palette. Let's get a rectangle, draw like, let's have that. Okay, have it selected. We can have one color, this one. Click on the color guide, on the gradient. We can remain with only two colors. Let me remove all this. Select on the color, a pointer, one of the colors any, then delete. Click on the bin, click select, click on the bin to be selected. Click select this, so we remain with a few colors, only two. This one we're not going to select radio, but we shall select linear gradient so that we can have something like this. The two colors are aligned, but aligned starting from left to right. If you see that we have a feathering from the left side to the right side, so we can have put this amidst so that we can have a uniform color like that. Have this in selection, we can duplicate it, right? Press Alt as you select the shape layer. As you're moving it, we can have something like that. Then you can position it well so that we can have a uniformity like that. Click another again, and then we can move and have another shape like that. Have them intact. We can align them, select all of them. We can as well select the first one, move it a bit up to center them all, so we can have something like that. Now for uniformity, we can have this one, paint it one color. Which color? Let us say let us go into gradient. We remove the last color, right? Let's remove the last color. Click on it, delete it. Oops, sorry. We can click on this color. We can try to paint it. Let's say, okay, the first one, let it be green. This one, let it be a bit something like that. We want to have something uniform, that is a bit uniform from the top part, that it shows some bit of feathering from the left to the extreme point. Have the second one, do the same. Right, double click onto one of the guides. Again, this one shall be a bit light, like that, This one will be having more of yellow. This, move it to the extreme. Have it something like that. And the last one probably will be yellow. The last one will be probably will be yellow. Let us just move this guide like that. So we have a feather like that. Okay, we have now 3 shapes. Have them selected. We can as well right click and then group them. After grouping them, we can have them in selection now. Right click and then group. Right. Okay. When we want to make them one shape, here the shape builder tool will work, but how will it work? The moment you want to bring in a shape builder tool by clicking Shift M, you want to group all of them. You're going to create something like that. The one shape we began with, which we do not want at this point. So let's undo. We're going to go into the shapes palette, right click on it. We're going to align this. Draw a rectangle at the top, right, and draw a rectangle at the bottom. All right, again click on the selection tool, group all these by right clicking, click group. Press Shift M onto your keyboard. Again, we can see that we have select layer, we have square selected at the point. We can as well reduce the. Okay, let's click Shift M to access the quick selection, the grouping tool. Right, now we group all these, have them grouped, even this, have them grouped, build them together, press Alt minus, we remain with something uniform at the top and at the bottom. All right, have them selected. Drag them at the top. We shall remain with something like that. Now, for we are going to get another shape. Let's say a rectangle again. Draw it closer, like this. We have something like that. Drag it closer. There. We can as well have it selected, trying to move it a bit, like that. This one, let's give it one color. We shall not use gradient, we shall use a single color. Let's use that. Okay, that would work better, I think so. Let's use a bit darker, more darker color. That would work better, right? This get it. Let us zoom out a bit. Select it. We shall click in any of these points. We can have something like that. We've managed to shape it to something like that. We're trying to get uniformity a bit. That could help us get something perfect. Get this, drag it a bit inside, and then we could have this selected. Right click, go to arrange, bring to front. So we have something like that. We have something like this, a bit uniformity in the arrangements. Yes, as you could see. Let's get it. Let's drag it up a bit so that we can have it like that. All right, this could work better. Okay, if I try to get it a bit like that, it would work out better. If I try to resize, all right. It is also something we shall also if you could okay, we are going to group this, get them, have them selected, right click, group. Okay, here we haven't yet used the shape builder tool, but we're going to use it at some point. I'm going to show you. Okay, let's get this and group first. Let's get this. We make a copy. Press Alt, drag upward, get this shape, have it selected, group it again. Okay, we have this selected. Drag, click on one of the bounding boxes, drag it down. Okay, we have something like that. Okay, all right, have it selected. Click, try to expand at the upper points. Have it selected at the one point in the left and the right. Drag. We are creating something like that. Okay, this one, have it selected, press Alt, right click, and then go to arrange, then we say send back. Okay, then we can give it a color. Now we can give it a color of your choice. If we give it a fill outline, let us use red. Okay, so we are creating such a shape. This one is the rubber, as you know. We can group these again, right click and then click group. Then we can move now where the shape builder tool is to be used. Okay, now here at the bottom part we are going to get we want to draw a nib of this pencil. Okay, now we're going to select again the shape builder on the shapes palette, get a rectangle, draw one rectangle here like that. Okay, press V, select it, move it sideways, go to shape out, the fill color, select the color a bit different color, that is a bit darker, like that. Have it in selection. All right, move it closer like that. All right, now we need to draw a nib. That is what we want to. We need to construct a nib. So we're going to consider ourselves having a rectangle. Yeah, so a triangle from a rectangle. Have it. Go to the shapes palette. Have a star selected. Click once so that you can define the number of shapes you want, of the number of the points you have for this shape. If you want 5 or 6 or 10, click 10 so that you can have a polygon with more than 10 sides or less, so that we shall use 3 to create a rectangle like that. After creating a rectangle, have it selected, try to resize it toward the center. We can drag a ruler so that we can be exact at one point. We are putting it closer to the pencil, one up, then drag another one like that toward the center. Then we shall see that we're having our shape in the exact dimensions that we needed. Have it selected, pull it a bit like that. Let's move it, let's have it selected a bit deeper inside, so that we can have something like that. Yes, move it a bit down. Okay, this one we shall select, say arrange, so bring to front, so we can be having something like that. Okay, get the rectangle, the one we created up before, get it, bring it down here. Now we need to get an outline, but we don't know where. How can we get it first? We need to get the exact shape from the upper that can resemble and can be of the similar dimensions. What we to do, get this shape, right? Press Alt, drag. We can have something like that, similar. Okay, then we can move the rectangle to a similar side like that. Okay, now we're going to have something like that. Press now the Shift plus M to open up the shape builder. If I try to zoom out, you could see something like that. The moment I press Shift M, I'm having some of these layers selected with squares, as this is now the marked selected point. This one is marked. Now it helps us cut the shape into 3 shapes, right? We can now press Alt to eliminate this, the one below. Now we have two shapes left, the one up and the one down, right? Okay. The moment I click at the selection tool, I'll be having two shapes left. As you could see, these shapes are we have two shapes like that, and these shapes we have something like this. So far we're going to zoom out a bit. Okay, now you could see that we are remaining with one up and one below. Trying to undo. Okay, we have something like that. I'm going to zoom out a bit. Okay, we have the bottom part, right? We now can as well have this selected and it's applicable. Have it selected. Press Shift M. We can select this. Press Shift M. We can have these two shapes. Again, we can press Alt. We delete. Make a copy. All right. After making a copy, we shall select this. Press Shift M. First, drag a ruler toward the center of these two shapes so that we can remain with the exact shape we need. All right. Have this shape selected. Have this shape selected. Delete it. Remain with this shape and this one. We can have that selected. Press Shift M. We delete one of these parts. Now we remain with one with the top and the bottom part. Okay. Then also we're going to have it selected as well. Sorry. Then we also have it selected like that. Press Shift M. Then remove the bottom part. So we have something like that. The one up and the one below, we can move them a bit closer. Then move this up a bit. We can try to resize. Press Shift, press Z. Then we can as well bring it closer to our view. We can move it closer like that. Move it closer like that. Yes, like that. We need to reduce this a bit so that we can have something as perfect. Very okay. Have this be moved a bit up here. Then have it selected, moved like that. Move it down. Okay. This marks the exact shape we needed. Alright. It has to get intact so that we can have the best when we are to group. Right, something like that. That's perfect. Alright. Now let us have them selected. Right click, we group them, then move them closer to the shape we had in selection at the first time. Alright, we also move it closer, have something that's perfect, something like that. Okay, right, then we can well have something like that. Yes, as perfect. Alright, now you're going to notice that we have two shapes. We have one below and one up. So we select this shape, right click, ungroup. After ungrouping, we have the selected shape below and the selected shape up. As you recall, have the one below in selection, go to fill color, paint color it, give it a darker color that could identify it more from the one up. Then we could have something like that. Then have them grouped, and then right click, and then group them again. Right, select all this, right click, click group. So we have something like this, a well-formed pencil, that anyone can do. This is Adobe Illustrator CC. We said it is a powerful tool, a shape builder tool that we can use to select and draw as many shapes as we could. This could work out very well. Have this selected also. We can resize them. Press Alt and Ctrl. We have this in selection. Press this again. Have it selected here. We can as well have something like that. Press Ctrl 0 to have the normal page size. So this is what we want to talk about. That shape builder tool can be used to draw and construct a lot of things. As you've seen, we've managed to draw, to design a pencil. If I could zoom out, something like this. Okay, something like this. Not so much artistic, but quite good if you could see. Yeah, and then we can have it selected. We could make as many copies as we can. Many copies as we could. So this is something as easy, right? We could have a circle, have it selected like that. Okay. Let me first resize this a bit. Sorry. Let me first resize this a bit so that we could be have some space here. Press Shift Alt, resize this a bit. Okay, have a circle. Press Shift to get an accurate circle, exact, to get fill outline. Click to none. Okay, let's give it white. Then let's duplicate it. Have something like that. Let us duplicate this. This circle. Have it duplicated. Let's give it a color. Side white. Okay, let's give it red. Okay, have it selected. Right, drag and drop. Again, drag and drop. We can have more explanation of the shape builder tool from here. Have them all selected. You can see if I zoom out, we can have such shapes selected, and then we could deselect it. Then press Shift plus M to access the shape builder tool. Then click in any. You could click Alt, Delete, Alt, Delete, Alt. We could remain with something like that, and after right click and say group, we could remain with something like that. Right, we could have this double click in one of these shapes. You could click and give it a color. Let us say we're giving it a gradient. Then let us you could have something like that, or you could have this, double click on it, double click this like that, arrange, bring to front, then we get back. We could remain with something like that. Again, what could we do? We could have something like that. So for now, I'll stop there, as I hope let's have another shape here. If we could have a circle, let's get an ellipse. Press Shift like that. Again, we press duplicate it. Sorry, we could get it. Right click, Alt. Let's get that. 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 And finally, let's get that. Okay. We can have these shapes like that. We're trying to elaborate more of how to use the shape builder tool. we can have all of them selected, press right click and then press shift plus M. We could remove this shape. We could again remove this shape. We could remove this shape. We could remove this shape. We could remain with something like that. Okay, let's also remove this, remove this, remove this, remove that. So it is a powerful tool that could be used to design as many shapes as you would wish. So if you could want, get this call, right click, you could ungroup them, or you could even resize them. Press Shift Alt, resize them, and do something like that. So a shape builder tool could be a very important tool that is as very important as you could see. We'll try to show you how this shape builder tool works. We intend to develop more of this tool. It is as good as you could see. I don't intend to say anything much. Please endeavor to subscribe and to drop in your comments. For more of these videos, we are intending to bringing more and more. Have a blessed night.